guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are talking about how I organize and plan my money. Here on Morning Coffee, we talk about organization, productivity, goal getting, and personal growth. If those are topics that you are interested in and you clicked on this video, you will probably love all of the content that we share here. Hit that subscribe button, join my community here on YouTube. I have a goal to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I would love for you to be part of it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let's get started with talking about the money. I'm in my kitchen today. I'll be cooking dinner as we're talking, and I'm kind of trying to multitask here. And actually while I'm cooking, it's kind of like money and food go really hand in hand. Groceries, eating out, meal planning, meal prepping, they're a huge part of fitting into the budget and staying on budget. So they kind of go hand in hand, plus the light's just really good in here. So let's start talking about how we plan and organize money around here. Before we get into the tips, I do just want to obviously clarify that I'm no financial expert. I'm not a financial planner. I'm certainly not a millionaire, and I'm certainly not a perfect money angel, but I can with great confidence say that I have a very good idea of what is happening with our money. I know how much we're earning, how much we're spending, what we're spending it on, how much debt we have, who we owe that money to, and we don't live paycheck to paycheck. And when it comes to money, I feel like it's one of those things in your life that when it's an issue, it's a huge issue. It is incredibly stressful to feel like you don't have your money under control. And I feel like right now with COVID, all of us have been more thoroughly contemplating what it would be like if something happened with our employment and we weren't able to get a paycheck on a regular basis like we do now. So this, I feel like, is a good time to talk about money, and so that's what we're going to do. I hope that you all understand that money is a very personal topic and that your money should work for you. Just because I do this a certain way doesn't mean that that's the way that you have to do it. I think the most important message you can take away from this video is that having control of your finances is incredibly important, and it will save you so much stress and worry in your life if you have an understanding of where you are and have a plan for where you want to go. So let's talk about it, but always know, do what works best for you. So let's start with the basic facts that you should know about your money. If you are really starting from scratch, if you're really starting from zero and you have no idea what you own, what you owe, how much you get paid, what you spend, that's really the first place to start. The easiest way to do this is to do two things. Log into your bank account. Every bank now has an online website or an app where you can log in and see what's happening on your bank account. If you've never logged in before, that is the first thing you should do. Print off the last 3 monthly statements from your bank account. Print them out. I know it's hard to do things analog, but print them out. Go through all of those statements and highlight different transactions. So if you go to the grocery store, maybe that's a green highlight. So you highlight every transaction that was groceries in green. And then you highlight everything that's eating out in yellow, and everything that's for your house, like bills and stuff like that, is in orange. This is how you're going to get a good understanding of how much money's coming in, right? So what are those paychecks and what do they look like? What are you spending on right now? And how much is that? And what are the things you spend on regularly? Sometimes we forget about certain budget categories. So that is really step number 1 for understanding how much you earn, how much you spend, and what you spend it on. The second thing to get a good understanding of is, what debt do you owe? Maybe you're lucky and you don't have any debt. Maybe you're like my family and we have student loan debt around here. So having a good understanding, if you don't have it already, of who you owe money to and how much you owe is the other piece of the financial picture to kind of give you a whole well-rounded view of what your money is doing. You can go to Experian, credit report, free credit report. Those are all websites where you can you pull your credit report and it shows you all of the debt accounts that you have. I will link a couple below. So logging into your bank account and establishing how much debt you owe and to whom is the first step in getting an understanding of what you're doing with your money. Let me show you what I'm working on down here. So I have some just plain russet potatoes. It's actually one just really big potato with some olive oil and some pepper. I'm gonna roast these potatoes in the oven. So once you have a good understanding of the way that you have been using your money, it's time to start thinking about the things that you want to do with your money. So many of us have dreams and goals and hopes for the future. Maybe you hope to be debt-free. Maybe you hope to travel to Europe. Maybe you want to support your mom and dad. Maybe you'd like to buy a new car or own a lake home. All of these things are examples of goals that require money to make them happen. One of the best things I can say about making a plan for your money is that it allows you to set money aside to do those dreams and goals. So start thinking about what's the first money goal you'd like to work on, and how can you cut in other areas to make those dreams and goals possible. There are some really great YouTubers who talk all about budgeting, how to set a budget, what percentages should be in your budget, the spreadsheets you can use for your budget, all of those things. I'm going to link them below. I am certainly not an expert on budgeting, but those people are. So if you've never had a budget, grab some of those resources below so that you can set a budget. So use your resources to understand where you are, set a budget based on your goals, and then the third thing is you have to actually check in on your money and see how things are going. Just like setting life goals, you can't set a money goal and then not stop in, see how things are going, and figure out if you're on track or not. So let's talk a little bit about how I check in on my money. The next part of my meal tonight is homemade coleslaw. So I've just kind of tossed all the ingredients together, and I'm just gonna have it cool in the fridge until the potatoes are done. Coleslaw is one of those things that you don't realize is super easy to make. So especially in the summertime, if you're looking for something quick and easy and stuff you probably already have, coleslaw is a good suggestion. So I keep my budget as an Google sheet, which is like Excel, Google's version of Excel. What I like about it is that it's web-based, so I can, from my phone, from my iPad, from my work computer if I need to, I have access to my budget spreadsheet. And I could share that budget spreadsheet with my husband. You could share it with whomever you might be working with on your budget. You can share it and it has real-time updates. So if you update things, the person on the other end of the sheet would also see it, which is a huge plus when it comes to money. So that is where I keep my budget spreadsheet. I have a template for every month and I break it down by week. We get paid every week. My husband and I get paid on alternating Fridays. So essentially we get a paycheck every week. And so I take our expenses and break them down by week based on that paycheck and the things that we pay for in that week. So the bills that come out on that week, the groceries we need for that week, the gas we need for that week, the personal spending, stuff like that. So every month I go through and I set up that monthly spreadsheet. Then each week I have a separate tab in that spreadsheet for the transactions that occur during that week. So what I will do is every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, I am in my bank account. Now you might think that's too frequent. I'm one of those people who feels like little by little is the best way to do things. Instead of having to sit down at the end of the month and record all your transactions or figure out how much you spend for the entire month, it's easier for me to do it little bit by little bit every week. So if a couple times a week is too much for you, maybe just every week or every two. Whatever works for you. But like I said, I find that it's easier for me to spend 5 minutes recording a couple of transactions from the last week or the last couple of days instead of taking 2 or 3 hours every month to do it. So that is how I do it. And what I'll do is I'll just log into my bank account and I'll look and see what transactions have happened since the last time I've logged in. And I record those in the weekly tab of my budget spreadsheet. And here's why checking in on the budget is important, because it's all fun and games. Well, it's not really. Let's be honest, doing budgeting is not fun at all. But it's one thing to set a goal and to say, I'm only going to spend $100 on groceries this month. But if you don't check in and see what you've spent from that budget already, you're going to find yourself at the grocery store again, buying some more stuff. And then when you finally do get around to adding everything together, you'll be like, holy crap, I spent $200 on groceries this month and I had no idea. And I have to say, this is the one thing that that I've been really trying to get better at, is that I don't always remember to account for things that are happening, right? So someone has a birthday coming up. I know I'm going to buy them a gift. I have to remember to put that into the budget. I think those are some of the things that are easy to forget, like car registrations, birthdays, that kind of thing. That's the other reason I really love having a budget spreadsheet that's an electronic file, because next year when I'm coming around to July, I can look at last July's budget and be like, oh yeah, I bought that gift. I'm going to buy that gift or something similar again this year. I should remember to put that into my budget. So that is essentially how I keep up with my money. I check into my bank account every couple of days and record the transactions. And so I'll see what is left of my grocery budget, what's not left of my grocery budget, and kind of add it up for the month. And then it makes it easy when I do add it up for the month. I've already have all of these transactions blocked out in my weeks, so I just have to add them together to know what I spent each month. Planning and organizing your money doesn't sound that fun and exciting, but when you talk about it in terms of, or when you view it in terms of, this is how I'm going to be able to afford that vacation, or this is how I can buy that new sofa that we've really been wanting, or this is how we can buy our lake house someday, that's when the money starts being fun, right? And again, I've talked about this many times on the channel, but I believe that big things happen little by little. You don't become debt-free in a day. You don't buy an expensive vacation or an expensive car in one day. It's all of the little tiny decisions, all of the little tiny purchasing decisions that you make on a daily basis that makes those goals possible. So while talking about money seems boring and restrictive and no fun, when you actually have a good idea of what's happening with your money and where you want to go with it, then you actually can make your dream life happen. You can reach your goals and do the things you want to do. You work hard for your money. You should make it work for you, but you have to have a plan and an understanding to get it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little off of topic, but or a little bit different from what I usually talk about, but it is something that you have to plan and organize in your life on a regular basis, and money does come into contact with your goals very frequently. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you again on Wednesday and Sunday for more videos on pursuing your own version of more and loving the way that you feel while you do it. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Here's the last part of my meal. I've got some buffalo chicken in here. This is just shredded chicken with some buffalo sauce. I'm going to put it with the potatoes and the coleslaw and some buns. And that is actually a meal kit from Dinnerly. I talked about them in my How I Save Time Everyday video, which I will link up here. But I do use meal planning services, grocery delivery services, to make my whole meal planning, eating at home, recipe, cooking thing easier. And cooking at home is something that I do to save money on a regular basis, as it's cheaper than eating out. You certainly do pay more for the convenience of having a meal service delivered to your home, but sometimes I'm willing to pay for convenience to save myself some time. So that is what I'm making for dinner. We're going to go eat. Thanks for watching. The finished product.